Money can be a very boring subject. Let's make it fun. Let's switch it up. First, a less boring background. The first thing you need to financially grow up in 2025 is to step on your haters' neck. Those your village people, step on their necks. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean you should show up and you should do more than you earn. No. Neck is an abbreviation. N stands for no debt. No taking no debt this 2025. E stands for emergency savings. Build an emergency fund. C stands for cut out all unnecessary spendings. K stands for consistency with savings and investments. Let's talk about this a little. No debt, self-explanatory. Don't borrow money. If you need to borrow money to maintain a lifestyle, it's a no-no. Don't do that in 2025. Build an emergency fund. It's important to have an emergency savings. Anything can happen at any time and you need something to fall back on. You need a safety net. If you don't have a safety net, that's what will lead you to taking debt and borrowing money. Cut unnecessary spending. It's very important to audit your expenses and know what you are spending on. Netflix, for example, I can't remember the last time I actually sat down to watch a movie on Netflix. If the payment is automatic, they'll be deducting that money every month and I'm not using it. There are a lot of things like that you are not tracking and the money is just wasting and you're not even using it. So it's very important to audit your expenses and cut off anything that is unnecessary. K, consistency. You need to be consistent when it comes to investing, when it comes to savings. If you've decided to invest, you should be consistent and do it every month. Have a specific amount that you are investing in every month. When it comes to savings also, when you get your paycheck every month, pick a percentage that you will save. It has to be consistent. Don't just save when you feel like or whenever you think of it. It has to be consistent because that's what will build you that fortune, or investing that will build you that compound interest in the long run because you do it every month, not just sporadically whenever you feel like. Next thing you need to financially grow up in 2025. Track your finances, not just expenses. I'm not going to call it budget because you might feel like budgeting is technical or you don't know how to budget, and I created a tool to make it easy for anyone that wants to actually track their expenses. It's a monthly finance tracker. I'll leave it below in the description box, and for the first month you can just use it. Any expense is broken down into different expenses. Your income is there, so for the first month you can use it as a finance tracker. You can use it as an expense tracker. Anything you spend money on for that month, just include it there. So at the end of the month, you see the total you spent on each category. You see how much you spent on food, how much you spent on eating out, how much you spent on transportation. So the next month, you can now use that to form your budget because you've seen, okay, I spent 5,000 on airtime this month. For March, I'm also going to put another 5,000 as the budget because I know that's what I spent last month. And that's probably what I'll spend this month also. It gives you a basis. But if you've not been tracking your finances, you might not be able to get a basis to actually budget. I also include a video explaining how to use the budget. I was very intentional about making it mobile friendly. You can use it on your mobile, you can use it on your desktop. The only thing is you need a Google Sheet application. I didn't want to use Excel, but Google Sheets is easier. So if you have the app, you just create a copy of the document and you can use it offline or online. It's going to be in the description box below if you're interested. The next thing you need to financially grow up in 2025 is to increase your income. Find ways to increase your income. Find ways to invest in your skills so you can charge more, so you can have other sources of income. Is it starting a business, starting a side hustle, changing your career? Just try to think of ways you can make more money. Don't just be satisfied with what you have right now. I believe we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of things we can achieve if we actually put our mind to it and we zero in on it. To actually grow up, to achieve all our financial goals, to live the life we want, we need a lot of money. And one job or one hustle or what you are doing currently might not be enough to fund that lifestyle. I know for me it's not enough, so I'm trying to find other ways of making money. So it's very important to be intentional about making money. Don't just allow the year go by and you're just stuck in that one job, earning the same amount, not making any progress. Invest in courses, invest in your skills, learn more, practice more, network with people. Just do all that. It's very important. One other thing we need to financially grow up in 2025 is to set goals. This is the first thing actually, but I intentionally left it to the last because I don't want to bore you. I'm sure you've heard setting goals 1,000 times, and to you it doesn't even mean anything. It's very important to know where you're going to. If you don't have direction, you're not going anywhere. But you need to set the goal. At the end of this year, how much do you want to make? How do you intend to make it? You need to make your goal specific. How much do you want to make at the end of the year? It needs to be measurable. How much are you going to make every month to get to that amount at the end of the year? It needs to be achievable. Do you have the skills to make that amount? Where you think you're going to get money from? If it's side hustle, have you started that side hustle? Have you started making that amount of money? Or what work are you going to put in to ensure you start making that amount of money? So it needs to be realistic. You don't have to deceive yourself. You need to actually know if it's possible or not. From your track record, is it possible? Or because of the work you're putting in, is it possible? It needs to be time bound, which is why I say a year. You can set financial goal for a year, or to make it easy, you can just set it in quarters. For first quarter, January to March, how much do you want to make? Recently, I just created a quarterly goal for myself. Beginning of the year, I've set the yearly goal for me, but for me, it's really important to break it into quarters. It's more realistic because in this quarter now, January to March, you have a realistic idea of what's going on or what can happen. I don't know what's going to happen October to December. So what I did was I set my goals for January to March and from March to April, a rough draft. I can still add more things to it, or I can deduct more things. But for quarter 3, which is July to September, and for October to December, I left it blank for now. In the next quarter, I'm going to set for the next quarter because I really don't know what's going to happen then. But when I see my results from this quarter and next quarter, it's easy for me to now set goals for the next quarter. So you don't have to think about the year. You can just set the goal for a month. Can set the goal for 3 months. Just break it down to make it easy for you. But if you don't have a goal, actually, if you don't have a specific goal, not just a wishy-washy goal of being successful or making more money, you need to have a specific amount and break it down on how you plan to actually achieve that amount. That's all I have for today. So make sure you check the description box if you're interested in the monthly finance tracker. It's free. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.